Hey, well, I guess we're on. Are we on? I can't tell if we're on. Okay, now it's red, so now we're on. Hey there, everybody. It is Newman. It is me. It's doing the me thing with the prep show. Thank you so much for joining me and everybody else that's out there, if there's anybody else out there. But that's all right. I'm used to talking to myself. I feel good about it in a way that is not natural. Sorry about yesterday. It couldn't be helped, technology and all that stuff, and that's just the way it is. I'm actually got a gig during the morning, so I'm doing the news for a local radio station. I'm doing it from my studio here, which means some of my equipment and all this stuff is wrapped up, and it takes a fair portion of my day. And to get everything else done, I'm trying to figure out what the workflow is for computer processing time and all that. So it's been kind of an issue, and hopefully it won't be an issue into next week, and certainly all into next month, because it looks like I'm going to be doing this stuff for the next month or so. It's money, though, so I'm not complaining. Very good, very good. Go to michaelnewmanproductions.com. All the pertinent information about me is right there. You can support the show. Just click support, takes you to Patreon, and you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. Pretty cool deal. All right, so what's happening in the news? I haven't looked at the news in a hold on. I really think I'm dying. I think I'm falling apart. This week I felt like I'm falling apart. And you know what it is? I know what it is. You know, I told you I was painting the cabinets the other day. Well, it's true. And to get everything to look the way it should look, it doesn't quite look the way it should look, but I'm doing my best over here. I had to do a lot of puttying and a lot of sanding. And there was a tremendous amount of dust in the air, and I had to mud the wall and sand some of that, and a lot of dust in the air. I'm not going to sand it by hand. I use a power sander because that's who I am. And I breathed in a bunch of that stuff, and I don't know. I think I really am. See, that's the thing. If you're 22, you don't even need blood. You need nothing. You'll be fine. But when you get old, that all goes away, and I will be officially 39 a week from today. Yes, July 6th, I will be 39, and you probably won't see me on that day, as I will drink it away like I have every birthday since I've turned 30. Or 12. One of the two. It's whichever came first. All right, so what's happening with the news today? Crackdown on illegals, House passes Kate's Law. Well, it's about time. It's about time. I mean, we're talking about Kate Steinle here, the woman in California that was murdered by an illegal immigrant that, by the way, this is the reason why we need a wall. Okay, you can't just have a rule. You have to have a wall, because she was murdered by someone that had been deported many, many times previously. The person was caught up in... He was in jail, and then he was caught up with the sanctuary cities, and the sanctuary cities wouldn't turn him over to authorities that wanted to deport him yet again. And he ended up getting away. They released him. The city did, or the state did. They released the guy, and he goes and he steals a gun from a forest worker, a federal agent, steals a federal agent's gun and murders Kate Steinle with it. So ain't that wonderful? And the question is, who goes to jail? Because sanctuary cities are illegal. The states and the cities have absolutely no authority to override immigration law. Federal law, by the way. We learned that in Arizona. And it just seems like no one's going to do anything about it. It's even when somebody's life is on the line, even when there's large groups of people protesting of Hispanic descent. Okay, they're protesting against illegals. They're protesting against people that are coming into this country through the back door, using every form of illegal means, and people that tend to be on the wrong side of the law anyway. We're talking gang members and that sort of thing. And yet, even if they're gang members and what have you, it didn't seem like anybody wanted to do anything about it. Now, Trump is kind of cracking down on it, and they've eliminated a lot of gang members. They got them out of the country, but how long are they going to stay there? That's the problem. We can deport as many people as we want, but as long as we have a wide open border, it simply won't matter because they'll come back. House passes Kate's Law as part of illegal immigrant crackdown. A little mute on that thing. I'm having problems with audio for some reason. Has anybody done an update on Windows 10? did the update. It's ridiculous. A bunch of stuff isn't working the way it's supposed to work. I'm very angry about it. House Republicans took action today to crack down on illegal immigrants and the cities that shelter them. One bill passed by the House would deny federal grants to sanctuary cities, and another, Kate's Law, would increase the penalties for deported aliens who tried to return to the United States. Kate's Law, which would increase the penalties for deported aliens who try to return to the United States, and passed with a vote of 257 to 157, with one Republican voting no and 24 Democrats voting yes. Who was the Republican that voted no? It's probably, well, it could have been McCain. No, he's not in the House. I just came in here and I said, no, I'm John McCain. I don't even, I pooped. First time in 2 weeks. I'm very happy about that. Kate's Law is named for Kate Stein, a San Francisco woman killed by an illegal immigrant who was in the U.S. Despite multiple deportations. 2-year anniversary of her death is on. It's been 2 years ago? 2 years. It's amazing. That whole thing happened 2 years ago, which is, by the way, what really sort of kicked off the talk tough against illegal immigration thing that seems to be so popular and got Donald Trump elected president of the United States. See, Gallup, 61% support big tax cut. Well, good. Gallup poll. I would think it would be hard to do paperwork when you're galloping or gallivanting or just really doing anything but sitting in a seated position and not moving a whole hell of a lot. And, of course, that page doesn't want to open, so we're not going to care about Gallup. Yay! Doctor wants sunscreen when using phones or computers. Oh, doctor warns. You have to wear sunscreen to use a phone now? How does sunscreen stop electromagnetic waves? They're not ultraviolet waves. It's a completely different wavelength of particle. What do doctors know? Very little, actually. Doctors aren't all that smart. Doctors who look after Taylor Swift skin warn that you should wear sunscreen when using phones and computers to avoid the same damage as sunbathing. I have never got a sunburn from sitting in front of a computer, and I'll tell you what, I sit in front of a lot of computers. As a matter of fact, I said this on the podcast today, and I made mention of it on a quick Facebook Live video that I did earlier today. I got up this morning, and I'm in front. I've got 3 computer screens in front of me, and they're all super bright. And usually the background is white because I'm doing a little word processing, typing out stuff and news and what have you, and a lot of reading off of it. So I'm intently staring at this white light. And I got up this morning, and I tried to read through the newscast there, and I realized that I could only see like on this side of my face, sort of out of the peripheral. If I looked straight on at something, all I saw was this blurry, bright dot. And it would follow me around. It wasn't in one eye, it was in both eyes. So it was just something imprinted on my brain. And it lasted for about an hour. I mean, I was reading, I was looking over here, and the screen is over here. That was the only way I could read, just sort of barely out of my peripherals. I was actually a little worried I might be going blind. No, that's not why. I was worried, though. So a little bit of sympathy. I could be going blind. You never know. Wouldn't that be fun? Hey, I could get disability. Wouldn't that be awesome? You people could pay for me. Wouldn't that be fun? Experts have long warned that UV rays from the sun are harmful to our skin. But according to one skin cancer specialist, Uno, our smartphones and computers can cause just as much damage as the sun. In fact, Dr. Howard Murad, an American dermatologist, to A-list stars, including Taylor Swift, Jennifer Lopez, and Jerry Hall, claims that spending 4 days in front of screens that emit harmful blue rays is the equivalent of 20 minutes in front of the sun. Sure. And you know he's got to be good because A-list celebrities go to him. That's his credibility right there. Yeah. Isn't that nice? Yes, we're going to have to check your boobs again. Yeah. Yeah, and probably the inside of the... Anyway, in New York City, breakdown subway held together with zip ties because it's the greatest city in the world. Right. Tom Ford laments women in yoga pants. It depends on the women. It really depends on anybody. Of course, what guys wear yoga pants? That would be a little disturbing, right? Even if you're doing yoga, you get the yoga pants on, bulge out front. It would kind of throw the balance off, wouldn't it? No one wants to see that. Not in public, at least. I'm wearing them right now, so let that bounce around your mind. Let's see what Tom Ford has to say. Tom Ford finds it upsetting that people no longer put as much care into their outfits anymore. An American designer has been in the fashion business since the 1980s. Well, he's the one that's guilty of all that. Have you seen an 80s movie lately, for God's sake? Now, granted, maybe not as bad as 70s. 70s maybe a little bit more laid back, a lot more sort of open shirts and I'm sweaty today type look. But the 80s was just a disaster for everything, especially hair. Right? Now, I'm on the other side of music, though. 80s was the last sort of genre or decade where there was actually pop radio, where there was actually a top 40 radio station. Now, everything's urban, and you can't be a boss jock with that music. So the 80s was the last year, so that is the greatest music of all time, except for Madonna and Phil Collins. Let's see. Merkel, don't care. Justice Department drops fight over Redskins name. Talked about it on the podcast earlier today. That was because of the Supreme Court decision in another case that said, well, it basically said that, the idea is the U.S. Trademark Office was denying people a trademark for words, names, or phrases that they deemed as disparaging. And in the case of this band, they had a name that could be, it was a Asian band called the Slants. Yeah, apparently they said, well, that's a racial epithet. That is a racial slur, sir, and you cannot have a trademark for a racial slur. And apparently, the guy that owned the band, he said, no, I'm suing you, and sued everybody involved, ended up winning, taking it clear to the Supreme Court, so that's a good deal. Although I don't think the court really went far enough. If you're going to have a trademark, you should be able to trademark. If you're going to have a trademark law where you can own a word, you should be able to own whatever word or phrase hasn't been previously purchased. The idea, I'm not a big fan of copyright laws. They're far too broad. I can understand, let's say you're an artist or something like that, and you make a CD, you make 10 songs or whatever it is, and then somebody literally takes that CD, copies it, and starts selling it for money. Certainly. No one has a right to do that. But once your music or once your words or once your idea or once your comedy is out in the public domain, in my view, it's already affected people. And as long as that person is using whatever piece that you have created initially as a piece of speech that they are creating solely, then I'm sorry, it's no longer your property. They are assuming your property and using your property that is in the public, that has already made a noticeable impact on people, and using that as a prop for their own piece of speech. And to prevent people from doing that is not just wrong, but it should be unconstitutional. I guess there's too much money involved and too many rich people that want to be able to have a way around the First Amendment of the Constitution, and the Supreme Court tends to let them do that. Travel ban now in effect. Well, it's not much of a travel ban. Well, if you know somebody, you can come on in. So it's not really going to work. What else? 129 degrees in Iran. Now, we've talked about this before. The reason the Iranians are pissed off all the time, it was like last summer. I looked at how warm it was just on any given day. It just happened to be, it was warm here when I was doing the radio show, and then we looked online and saw what it was in Iran. It was like 140 some odd degrees. I didn't think that was possible, but like 140 some odd degrees. And if it's that hot, you can understand why people would be a little pissy about everything. Let's see. The southwestern Iranian city has had temperatures soaring to a brutal 129 degrees as of today, which is Iran's hottest temperature ever recorded. Oh, BS. I saw it at 140 last year, so shove it. It's one of the world's hottest, reliably measured temperatures, and the highest June temperature in Asia on record. The information comes from meteorologists at the Metro France and the French National Weather Service, blah, blah, blah. Officially, he said the temperature was 53.7 degrees Celsius, which is 128.7 degrees Fahrenheit, the only real temperature that anybody pays attention to. Iran's previous hottest temperature was 127.4. It's warm. It's so, I tell you what, if we were to, just drop air conditioners, these people they would never leave their house. They would just stay inside. We're very cool, very nice. They'd sip a cocktail. I don't know. They have cocktails there. They'd make cocktails, and the world would be a peaceful place, finally, and at last. Illinois Credit Watch. God, I hope Illinois goes bankrupt. I really do. I mean, it'd be bad for the people and all that stuff, but you know what? It would teach them a lesson for being Illinois. That's all I have to say. China rolls into Hollywood, grows with new takeover. Isn't that nice? $1 billion arms sale to Taiwan. There you go. I thought everything was made in Taiwan. Well, they're just not going to ship them. They're going to make it. We'll just keep them. Yeah, there you go. Here's a couple bucks. How you do that? That's probably not going to make China very happy, by the way. Incredible footage of a Boeing 747 vapor trail. All right. Let's see what the incredible footage looks like. Ooh. Well, that looks otherworldly. I mean, why does it look like? It looks like it's on fire. And it's like falling. You can't see this, can you? Well, we're looking here. Yeah, that. Oh, that's, ooh. Yeah, that's aliens. That is aliens coming in for a landing. That looks like the Millennium Falcon's on fire. Han Solo's dead, so there's no one around that can really fly the damn thing, and now it's coming in for a landing. Hot, baby! That is crazy. Is it going to crash? It's not going to crash, is it? Oh, no, we're above it, and it's flying underneath. That is nuts. That must be what you... Okay, when they're blowing those vapor trails, the chemtrails, the ones that they're controlling our minds with, must be what it looks like if you're watching over the top. So, that's sweet. I wonder how they got so close. It's like, well, I can see him, he's coming, but... Well, we'll just go over him. It'll be fine. I don't know why you can't drink in the cockpit. They have such a big deal about that. Drinking in the cockpit. It's not like they actually fly those planes anyway. The computer does all the flying. They're just sitting there pushing buttons. And if you're having a tough time figuring out which button to push, you cover one eye. It's just let them drink and then issue an eye patch. There you go. Just, it's time for Fred to put his eye patch on. Almost hit a mountain on that one. If there was just a little bit of, fun put back into air travel, maybe there's one flight every day, someplace in the United States, one flight, no one knows what it's going to be. And that flight has to do the entire thing inverted. That's the new FAA rule. One flight, inverted, and not just like all flights, just the big flights, just the big commercial airliners. And you get on there and you get up to 30,000 feet or whatever it is, and captain comes on and says, well, our number hit. We're the one that are going inverted, so hang on to your assholes. And Wouldn't that be fun? Will those things do that? I'm sure you could make it happen. If you really tried hard enough, we'll get somebody up there that can do it. Sex increases lifespan. I'll be dead tomorrow. City life lowers sperm count, testosterone levels. Well, there you go. It's because you don't have to do as much. Everything's readily available and right there. You just walk places and that sort of thing happens. If you actually have to work for a living, then I think it makes up for all that. Anarchy on roads has driverless cars in a jam. Well, that's the problem with driverless cars is there's no freaking driver, right? It's a computer that if you can account for every variable, the computer can drive the car. Yes. But there are variables that even a human brain can't account for on the road. And you have to be able to deal with a new situation quickly to potentially get out of it. And a computer's, I'm sorry, the programming just isn't that smart at this point in time. Drudge Report doing pretty good. Okay, thanks, Drudge. Let's see. Trump MSNBC Mika was bleeding. 71% say tweets hurting agenda. I don't think so. I really don't. I think there's a lot of conservatives out there and a lot of people out there that are saying, I can't believe he's tweeting. I can't believe he's saying these things. It's insane. I don't think it's hurting him one iota. I think it's perfectly fine. And I think he's getting his message directly to the American people, and he can either raise a stink or end the controversy in minutes with his tweet versus having to beg the news media to be fair with him. All right? So I'm fine with his tweets. I get his tweets every day. And you know what? Here's the thing. If you don't like his tweets, don't look at them. It's that simple. And, if the tweets go away, the news stories, well, they'll just come up with something else, won't they? They'll make up even more stuff. It's not like, look, Trump isn't doing anything to himself. And by the way, it's not about Trump. For the media, it's not about Trump. For the left, it's not about Trump. They say it is, but he's just the guy. He's just the one that happens to be there. It's about Republicans. It's about conservatives. It's more, here's the thing, it's more about the American people than it is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just sort of a figurehead for a group of people that the left hates. And that's you and me. They hate us. Why do you think they drag us out of cars and beat the crap out of us? Why do you think that is? Because they hate us. And Donald Trump is just a reason. Sorry. 1 in 10 people in Britain, a foreign citizen. That is a fantastic way to run your country. That's going to be perfect for maintaining some sort of a semblance of culture. Yeah. GOP researcher makes shocking claim about Clinton's email, dies 10 days later. Well, there you go. The Clintons, they don't have a hitman on staff. I mean, they've got one, but just works on a contract basis. Let's see. A report from the Wall Street Journal claims that a Republican researcher attempted to obtain hacked emails from the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign during the election, and that he believed Michael Flynn was tied to the effort. Peter W. Smith, the operative, died 10 days after speaking to the Journal about this claim. The report says Smith implied to associates that Flynn was somehow associated with the attempt to obtain hacked emails. Flynn was a senior advisor to Trump at the time. The Journal quoted Eric York, an Atlanta area computer security expert, who said Smith told him Flynn was interested in their efforts. So, real story? Fake story? What is it? Oh, it's Trump's fault. Oh, one of his guys. Hey, he's the one. Russia didn't do it. Oh no, Russia didn't do it. It was Flynn. It was the campaign. They did it themselves. And they try to blame it on Russia. Oh, that'll be the next thing. Oh, God. It's not collusion with Russia. They did it themselves, and now they're just blaming friggin' Russia. Oh, my God. Can we move on? Can we please just, what is this? Go call for support my ass. What is all this stuff? It only happens on Drudge and The Blaze. That's where all these things pop up. Like, that's not a freaking conspiracy. America, it's your turn to hiss a big tobacco. That's a sponsored ad. What are all these sponsored ads? Blaze really sucks these days. Dana responds to the left's attack on her recent NRA ad. Don't care. Inside information on Trump's takedown of morning show host. Don't care. CNN almost breaks down in tears over Trump's tweets about Mika's... Oh, no. I can't believe he was saying such an awful thing. You know what? I'm really to the point where we should play a little game, and I think Trump should get more serious and more. See, whenever he says anything, there's always a little tongue-in-cheek action going on. You know, you're fake news, and it's funny. You know, most people get the humor involved in that. Yeah, I think he's serious. I think he thinks they're fake news. I think he thinks they're a propaganda network. But when he says it in this sort of I'm acting likable sort of way. Instead of doing that, I think he should be more serious and then just try to drive so many of them insane that, I don't know, they just decide to either quit or commit suicide. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, I can't believe the president did that. He was listening to this guy on the internet and it drove him nuts. Oh, God. I'm really tired, by the way. I want you to know. The week has been long. Lots of computer problems. It takes it out of you. I like that couple's YouTube stunt ends in tragedy. Is it a tragedy? Really? I don't know that it's a tragedy. You were out there trying to make a video with guns, and then you shot yourself. That's not a tragedy. That's one of those, after-school specials. That's what that is. Did the after-school specials go away? Wasn't that on PBS or something? I think around here it's KTWU. Is that what it was on? I remember the after-school specials. They should bring those back, you know, for today, except for make it look like it's from 1951. That'd be fun. That way it'd really connect with the kiddos. Breaking, Greta Van Susteren says she's out at MSNBC. Is she leaving? Why did she go there anyway? Why would you do that? They may be offering you a bunch of money, but you got to know it's not going to work. After less than 6 months on the air, Greta Van Susteren show is already being axed by progressive network MSNBC. She made the announcement Thursday on her social media account. I am out at MSNBC, she tweeted. Vanity Fair confirmed the news, saying that MSNBC's legal analyst, Ari Melber, would be taking over her time slot. The former Fox News host had suffered in ratings at MSNBC despite the network's upswing in the age of President Donald Trump, while Susteren and her show attempted to be fair. MSNBC, more vitriolic anti-Trump shows, garnered the network a historic ratings improvement. Susteren, 63, left Fox News in September while the network was mired with sexual harassment allegations against the late CEO Roger Ailes. In January, it was announced that she would host a show on Fox's rival at 6 in the ET slot. NBC News chairman Andrew Lack recently implied that Susteren's show wasn't doing as well as they had hoped. I'm not going to tune in MSNBC. I don't care who goes over there. I'm not going to tune in MSNBC. I'm not going to prop up that network. Why would I do that as a consumer? That's the side that I'm talking from. As a consumer, I ain't going to do it. So why do you think going over there, look, they must have just offered her a buttload of money, and even if she's out, she's got a contract that's going to continue to pay her and what have you, so she'll be fine. And she's 63, she'll probably retire or just go to be a legal analyst or something, so you don't have to work all the time. I can completely understand that. A pregnant driver runs over alleged purse thief I was not going to let him get away with it. And I had a 4,000-pound bullet, traveled relatively slow, but it caught him, didn't it? A pregnant North Carolina woman said that she saw a man rifling through her SUV in an Asheville Walmart parking lot late Wednesday afternoon, and that he took off running with her purse after she confronted him. Oh, she confronted him. The guy's going through and, hey, is that what are you doing, sir? And it takes off. I'm surprised she confronted the guy. Christine is her name. 26, said she started chasing him on foot, but then had a different idea. Why am I chasing him on foot? You've ever thought about that when you were watching Cops? You know? Very seldom does the TV show Cops show the enormously obese police officers. Very seldom does that happen because I know they exist. I've seen them. They only show the in-shape police officers, you know. But every once in a while, they'll let one slip through, and you got morbidly obese guy trying to chase down a perp, and he's sweating bullets. There's actual blood coming out of his head from his sweat. I mean, oh, my God, he's got a donut in one hand and a big gulp in the other. Oh! He actually throws the donut in his face, you know, and tries to eat the big gulp. Doesn't quite work out that well. You just think to yourself, he's in a field, get in your car. He's getting in the car, and you got a light. You can see where he's at. You know, use the light. And if he says, come and get me, then you run him the hell over. Oh, sorry, my brakes messed up. I can't believe it. Man, it worked out good for me, though. Being 5 months pregnant, I chased him a little ways, then came back, jumped into my car, threw it in gear, and come across the curb and ran him over. Because I'm crazy. I hope, I wonder if she's married. She's what, 26 years old, pregnant. It's very possible she's not married. Maybe she just got knocked up. I would imagine knocked up. I get knocked up as a feeling. Knocked up by some dude. That's my feeling. Because just in my mind, a strong, loving couple has a different mindset, a different sensibility, and their first reaction isn't to run the bastard over with the bumper of your car. That's a very different reaction. Although we're praising it right now because it's good to talk about and fun news, probably not the smartest thing to do. You know, if you ever want to actually see your child being born, right? And it's in your body. They'll just put up a sheet and then take the kid away. You won't even know what it looks like. That's how that works. And probably it's the best thing you could possibly do. All right, we've been on for 35 minutes. I kind of want to slow down these shows a little bit to let people breathe. I wonder if I'm broadcasting too much, if I'm doing the show too much too often, people get burnt out on it or whatever. If you have any comments on that, let me know. You can Facebook me, tweet me, send me emails and all that cool stuff. And we'd love to hear from you, to get your input on the shows or stuff you'd like to see, stuff you want me to talk about. We can do that too. You can also, of course, fairly easily contact me on my website. Just hit the contact link, go to michaelnewmanproductions.com. Big thing says contact, and there's a little place you fill out the information, send me an email, it pops up right in front of me, so that's a pretty cool deal. And most importantly, tell your friends about the show whenever the live show pops up, whenever the podcast pops up. Just share those links out. And try to grow the show as much as possible. I got, I host the podcast on SoundCloud, right? Because it's a lot of audio. It's $15 a month and pretty much unlimited. And, of course, people can follow you on that, and they can like and dislike and all that stuff. I got a like from Serbia the other day. Aha! Just popped up. Oh, Michael Newman. Like. And it wasn't like, it was weird because it was a show I did it was on the 21st. I liked the show on the 21st. I just thought it was weird, you know? She wasn't bad looking, probably mid-30s. I went to her page. I had to go to her page. I'm stalking my listeners. But she wasn't bad looking, although I had no idea anything about her because she had Facebook and all that, entire thing, Serbian. So, who knows? Who knows? So, maybe she's watching on YouTube now and she's going, that son of a bitch. I can't believe you brought that up. I would tell you what her name was, but I couldn't read it. It was a Serbian, and I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try. But thank you for liking the show. All right, that is it. Have a great evening, my friends. This is the last regular show for the week. Tomorrow, which is Friday, people out doing Friday things. I may pop on, maybe do a pre-recorded deal with the Friday dump. I haven't decided. We'll see how Friday goes. Otherwise, we will be back again on Sunday at 8 p.m. Hope to see you there.